So you're thinking about maybe moving to Rock Hill, South Carolina, but you need some more information. Well, you have come to the right place. If you're looking for everything Charlotte and the surrounding suburbs, we are doing a video multiple times a week to bring you all the information you didn't even know you needed to know. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button to get all the fun facts. And if you want immediate information, go ahead and hit that notification bell. You'll be the first to know about updated trends, market conditions, and everything in between. I'm 𝗖𝘀 I'm a local real estate agent to the Charlotte and surrounding areas, servicing North and South Carolina. And every single day, we receive calls, texts, emails, as well as Zoom requests from clients just like you who are looking to move to the area and want more information. If you are one of those people, be sure to go ahead and connect with us. All of our information is in the links and the description below. So let's dive in. We're going to talk a little bit about Rock Hill, South Carolina. If you haven't seen some of my other videos on Rock Hill, go ahead and check on our page, on our channel, because we go in depth on everything having to do with Rock Hill, as well as a great tour of downtown. In this video, we're going to focus on things such as commute times, where to go, where to look, and things you might need to know, especially if you're moving to the area. So let's dive right on in here. I've got a map of Rock Hill pulled up on my screen, and we're going to go right through. So let's go ahead and do a fully zoomed out aerial view for those of you guys who are from other parts of the country. So welcome North and South Carolina right here. As we zoom in, you'll notice that Rock Hill falls just south of Charlotte, North Carolina, which is right here. Now, one of the biggest draws to Rock Hill, it's close enough to Charlotte, but it has some great opportunities and incentives such as tax incentives, sometimes a lower cost of living, and several other factors. I'll link some of my other videos in the description below. This way you can go check those out, and we go into a lot of detail about some of the pros and cons of Rock Hill. But if you notice, Rock Hill is farther south than Fort Mill. Fort Mill is another area, which I've got some other videos on. Go check that out. Both are very desirable areas, but Rock Hill is bigger. The population is quite a bit more. It is far more widespread when talking about the actual size of the city itself. And with regards to pricing, it is all over the place. So you could potentially get a property in the 300s, or you could get a property in the 3 millions. It's really up to you, and all of those are available, but we're going to dive into some of those neighborhoods and show you what that might look like. And I'm also going to share with you some commute times, because I know that's really important to most people. So as I said, here's Charlotte right up here. If you want to access Rock Hill, let's take a look at some of the driving, because I know a lot of people commute. So obviously, I-77 runs right through, and I'll zoom out even more, runs all the way down through Statesville, through Charlotte, down and flanking Rock Hill and Fort Mill. It is the main thoroughfare and actually will lead you right into Columbia, South Carolina. Now, if you are looking to do a weekend trip or something of that nature, it's only about 2 hours to Asheville, North Carolina, which is beautiful mountainous area. And it's about 2.5 hours to, I'm going to zoom out here, Boone and 𝗖𝘀, which there are areas up there for snowboarding and skiing. Now, for all of my northerners, it's not the kind of skiing and snowboarding that you are used to, nor for those who are coming from out west. We get a lot of ice because, well, we don't get a lot of snow. So we usually blow most of the snow that you get on those slopes. So go skiing at a colder time of year when you might actually have some natural snow. So anyway, aside from that, you're also only about 3 hours, so around, say 3.5 hours to the beach. There's several beaches you can go to. You can hit Wilmington in about 3.5, or Charleston, as you see there's a heart there. We love Charleston. Or you can hit Charleston again in about 3.5 hours. So really, it's a wonderful location, as is Charlotte, but some people would rather be in South Carolina. So as I said, I-77 comes right through. That is going to be your main thoroughfare. If you are commuting from Rock Hill into Charlotte or anywhere in that area, it really is the only main road. Now, this sometimes is a downside to Rock Hill and even the Fort Mill area, because there's only one way. Now granted, there's always more than one way. When we're looking at like a direct path, you really don't have a direct path when it comes to that except for I-77. Now there are a couple little side roads. You could always cut all the way down this way and go up 521, or go all the way into York County and scoot up this way. But if you really look, there are no main roads except for I-77. And if there is traffic, if there is road closures, you could be in a little bit of a pickle. Now granted, this obviously doesn't stop thousands of people who live in Rock Hill that commute into Charlotte every single day. So it's completely doable. But I'm just forewarning you, that is a possibility you might hit some traffic. So let's dive into Rock Hill itself. So Rock Hill also sits just to the south side of Lake Wylie. Right here is Lake Wylie. So that all in here is Lake Wylie. This is the town of Lake Wylie, which is right on that border there. You see there's the borderline of North and South Carolina. But Lake Wylie is a beautiful lake. It is fed, I'll zoom out here. It is fed from Lake Norman, which is the largest man-made lake on the East Coast, where it then trickles down into Mountain Island Lake and then comes down into the Catawba River, named after the local Catawba Indians. And then it comes down into, well, Lake Wylie. Great little area. The river continues down from there into Catawba. Go figure. But it does make this a really nice spot for you to be able to chop up and enjoy lake life, which is really nice. Now, let's dig into the actual town. We're going to go into the proper of Rock Hill. So as you can see, there's this outline here. I'm going to leave that there best I can. This is really the outline of the city of Rock Hill. Now you're going to find that Winthrop University is pretty much just outside of the center of town and is home to many students. It is a liberal arts college, beautiful campuses, absolutely magnificent, but it is in a pretty decent distance. Look at that, right from downtown Rock Hill. Now, if you have seen one of my other videos of the Rock Hill vlog tour, you understand how adorable it can be to go down to downtown Rock Hill, little soda shops and things like that. If you haven't, definitely go take a look. But the main street or main area of Rock Hill is right here. Now, obviously, we're going to have different neighborhoods, right? So different neighborhoods offer different opportunities. Now, one of my other videos I did highlight when it came to crime rates and things like that. We're not going to go into a lot of detail in this video, but I do want to share with you some of the communities and neighborhoods within Rock Hill. Now, Winthrop University is kind of its own neighborhood, which is really neat. So there are some beautiful homes that flank over in this area. So right off of Oakland and Cherry, there are some beautiful old homes from the 1920s and further back. Some are smaller, some are larger, which is really nice. And down here, we've got the Events and Sports Center, but right off from it is Laurelwood Cemetery. And funny enough, there's actually some really pretty little shops on Main Street right here. And we're going to pull back out, and I'm going to show you this other little spot. Because down here, we've got Confederate Park, which has actually got a giant amphitheater, so they do shows and things like that. Here's some photos of it right in here, obviously some Google photos. But the actual park has a nice big amphitheater, so there's a lot of events that happen down there. Then we also have the gardens. Now, these photos do not do it justice in here. But again, a great spot if you want to go picnic or go out with the family, etc. Wonderful parks and entertainment. So all around, by the way, this is like really close. Check that out. Winthrop University is right there. All these little parks are all around it, which is phenomenal. So as we pull out, I also want to go ahead and highlight Fountain Park. This is one of my favorite parks. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So if you take a look at some of the photos over here, there's quite a few photos actually. Fountain Park is beautiful. Let's see if we can share a couple of these with you. So this is right off of the main street, and in my vlog tour, I captured a little bit of it on camera. But the fountains are gorgeous. In Christmas time, they do it up with lights and all kinds of decorations. They've got another mini amphitheater in here as well. So it just gives you a nice little fun spot to go if you are not sure what you want to do for the day. So zooming back out, this is that main, as it said, it's Main Street, right? So this is the main street, main thoroughfare in Rock Hill. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up another view here. Let me move me out of the way. Hold on 1 second. So we're going to come into a satellite view real quick to give you an idea. So there's Fountain Park, which is a nice little spot to just kind of put a pin in it. Now, in the vlog tour that I did, I was walking this main street right in here. So it is literally Main Street. So you've got the downtown historic district, which the shops that are down here, the actual streets, are so pretty. Old brick buildings that have been there since the early 1900s, late 1800s. But you've got things like Amelie's Fresh Bakery, little restaurants and shops, Tattoo and Brew. By the way, this place is really good food if you're looking for some really good bar kind of food. Great bar and grill. But the other cool thing, which I'm going to try and zoom in and see if we can see it. We may not be able to. Here we go. Freedom Walkway. So I'm going to click on it. We'll see if it actually gives us what I would like it to give us, which is the photos of it. So right here, you probably saw this in my vlog video. Freedom Walkway is actually really neat. They have a huge mural down there. There's part of the mural. It's been redone a few times, but it's really paying tribute to those back in the day that stood up for the freedoms of those that are really being segregated against back in the day. So they've got this huge mural that runs all the way back, and it's got all kinds of historic placards. I don't know, I'm a bit of a history buff. I love things like that. So it just gives a great opportunity to go out and walk. Now, when you come down Caldwell Street here, you've got a few different brewing companies. So you've got the Millstone Pizza and Tap House with the Rock Hill Brewing Company. Now, as anybody knows me, I love local brews, local coffee, and dogs. Those are kind of my things. So I would say they have some great beer if you want to go check it out. But if you're not somebody that drinks, it is a tap house as well as a pizzeria. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. Now, as we come a little bit further down Caldwell, you've also got, this is like a classic video game store, old school. They really don't even have these anymore. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day walking into old, I'm going to call them CD stores because it wasn't records. But this kind of has that same feel, which is pretty cool. But there's some great little shops as well as restaurants all up and down here. Most of them are not chains. Like you do have things like Jimmy John's and such, but most of them are not chain restaurants. Most of them are actually locally owned and operated. So if you're looking for a nice little spot to go out, you could do a little date night down here and never be bored. So I'm going to come up a little bit. So now we're going to go down Oakland Avenue because there's a really great spot right over here. So right on this wall, I'm going to click on this. Hopefully it'll show me what I want. Yay, there it is. Love, love, love this mural. There's an absolutely magnificent mural on this wall. It's just a piece of art. It's great. So if you're looking for really cool artwork as well, definitely take a walk in these areas because it's going to highlight different murals and art, etc., all in the area. Now I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. See if I can pull it up. So this is going to be your main hub of Rock Hill. If you want to be in walking distance of a walkable area where you've got shops and restaurants and things like that, you're going to want to be within Johnston Street right here, just all around this way. That's going to be your ideal. Now, if you don't mind being a little bit further out, we're going to take a look at some other neighborhoods. Now, all of this in here is all residential. A lot of the homes that are within here, you're going to find if they have not been already renovated. I'm going to pull my thing over here. If they have not already been renovated, most of them are running in about the 300s. Now, that being said, they are homes that are a little bit smaller because you're closer into downtown Rock Hill. The further out you go, the pricing starts to change a little bit. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. So as you get to this lower portion of Rock Hill right down here, your pricing is going to change a little bit. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like, and we'll pop back in, and I'm going to show you some of the other streets and neighborhoods, which is pretty cool. Okay, so this map right here is showing us all of the homes that have been sold or are under contract in Rock Hill, South Carolina in the last 180 days. This is showing us homes that are between $200,000 and $400,000 with at least 3 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms. That could mean 1.5 baths. So as we zoom in, as you can see here, a lot of these homes are in the 300s, 200s. just to give you an idea of what's going on with pricing in these areas. Now, granted, the square footage is going to be a little bit less on these properties. So, for example, 235. This is what this property is going to look like at 235,000. Very simple, very straightforward. For another example down in this area, sorry about that. Another example down in this area. This is right outside of that little strip. This is 375 under contract right now. It's 1,600 square feet, but absolutely quaint. This property is so adorable. I actually featured this property in my vlog tour of Rock Hill. Go take a look at that, and you'll take a look at the neighborhood as well. But this is classic home. As you can see, they kept all of the original framing, door framing, etc. The original, which have been upfitted a little bit, fireplaces and things of that nature. But this is what you can expect for this price range. Something that is fully renovated, you're going to be up in that 375, even if it's only 1,600 square feet. Now, mind you, the house was built in 1910, so we would hope that it's been updated, but not all the homes are updated. So if you do see that price point in that 375 to 400, it's usually because it's been renovated. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the prices would look like between 400 and 600,000 real quick. So this is where we see things change just a little bit. As you notice, once we go from 400 to 600,000, suddenly there's really not many homes that are going to be in this area of Rock Hill. Reason being, the sizes change. Most of the homes in this area of Rock Hill are going to be more historic, smaller, etc. And the price points, let's face it, there's only so much you can do per square foot. You're not going to have a $400 per square foot property right here. It's just not going to happen. But if you are looking at homes that are a little bit more expensive, you're also going to get a little bit more square footage. So all of the little dots you're seeing all around here, those are all properties between 400 and 600,000. So let's take a look, still closer into Rock Hill. I'm going to go ahead and grab one that's in the 536 zone. So let's see this. So this one's 536. You already see a difference, right? So it's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and 2,500 square feet. So as we click through here, you're also going to notice that it's still got updated kitchen, things of that nature, updated living room. Everything has been touched. Very quaint, but the size is a lot bigger than the previous home by 1,000 square feet, an extra bedroom, and an extra bathroom. So as we go through, you're also going to notice that, I'm going to highlight this. So this little room right here leading into the laundry room, these are actually original right here. So in South Carolina and North Carolina, older homes, the laundry room area that most homes use as a laundry room used to be like a little, I'm going to call it a porch that usually got closed in. And then from there, that's where laundry was put. But in most homes, they've redone the laundry room to really enclose it. Now, here's where the huge win is for this particular property. You've got a 2-car garage that's 40 setback and a fenced-in yard. It's just absolutely adorable. So that's what you can expect if you're going further out and you're paying a higher price point. It's not a bad thing, but you do have to keep in mind it's also on almost a half acre. So a lot of big differences there, but you're not going to get that right here. You're going to have to go just a little bit farther out. So a little bit of a walk. Now, if we're going a little bit higher in price, I'm going to zoom around here and see if I can snag one real quick. You're going to notice the farther out you go up into this area, and I'm going to zoom out. As you get up into this area and the Newport area and Indian Hook, all of these properties up here are going to be a little bit more expensive. So you're not going to find those homes in the 300s up there. It's just very rare. And if you are, they probably need some work. So let's take a look at 600 plus. So when we're looking at properties that are $600,000 or more, you're going to notice a little bit of a change. Far less of them. So what that really shows us is the averages of the homes in Rock Hill are going to be closer to your $300,000 to $350,000 range, which means it's pretty affordable for most people that are first-time home buyers to get into a property with at least 3 beds and 2 bathrooms, which is wonderful. But if you are wanting to do something a little extra, I'll give you an example. So this property is still right here, very close to Rock Hill, which is great. These two are good examples of this. But take a look at this. This home was built in 1924. I want to go ahead and point that out. It sold for $650,000. Look at this. It's 3,100 square feet with 5 bedrooms. In addition to that, it sits on almost a half acre. So it's still a more historic home, but look how gorgeous this house is. Absolutely beautiful, fully renovated. And in this instance, you're paying for the location as well as the renovation. So as you notice, this property is pretty much fully renovated. Plenty of rooms, plenty of space, huge back deck. And check out this entertainment area. I love it. Great space and a great yard. So when you're looking at homes like this, yes, it is going to be a little more historic. As you can see, it's not even in a subdivision because it's right in the heart of Rock Hill. Now, if you're wanting something a little bit further out, you're going to find a great spot right up here. So let me go ahead and pull this one. So this property was also featured in my vlog video tour. This was sold for $1 million. It's in a great development called Laurel Creek. As you noticed, it is not too far outside of the downtown of Rock Hill. It's about 10, maybe 15 minutes. But this property, again, it's absolute luxury. Laurel Creek. This particular area does host some magnificent homes, but all the homes are unique. They're all custom built. So when you head in there, yes, all the homes are already built, but they are all custom. So that's what you're getting when you move into a neighborhood like this. So you can have a newer home. This one was built in '06, but check this out. 5,000 square feet, 6 beds, 3 full baths, and 2 half baths. That's what you're going to get when you move into that area. So Rock Hill does have a little bit of everything for everyone. It really just depends on your price point and where you want to be. So if you want historic and fully renovated, yeah, you're going to find a couple, but most of them are not going to be. If you want something that's a little bit smaller and you want to stay under that $400,000 range, you absolutely can. And if you want to be close into town, you can do it, but the property is going to be a little bit smaller. So that's just a quick peek at what that looks like with regards to actual pricing. So back at our original map here, as we had said, we're just underneath the lake. But if you notice, Rock Hill kind of creeps all the way up and almost touches Lake 𝗖𝘁. Not quite, just a little bit there. But it's not really considered a lakefront town. Instead, that would be India Hook or 𝗖cie迄are 2 great areas that you could be in for that, both very close. Now, some other things to take note of. When it comes to medical centers and things of that nature, the Piedmont Medical Center is a top-rated hospital. So if you are looking to be closer to hospitals, I know some people do have health concerns, things of that nature. This area right up in here might be a great location for you to stay in because you're only about 5 to 10 minutes from the hospital. Yes, there are other urgent cares and things of that nature within Rock Hill, but this is going to be your main hospital, main hub. Now, granted, the town is not that big, so you could literally go ahead and transport all the way across, and it's still only going to take you 15 minutes, which is wonderful. But take a look at this. They do have some specializations that they obviously specialize in for different health concerns. One of the reasons why people do enjoy living in Rock Hill, because it's also really close to Charlotte. So if you have any particular needs, the Ballantyne area right in here has some very specific medical centers, whether it be for OBGYN or neurological. There are a lot of specialties that are right here, but you can have the advantages of being in Rock Hill. So if you aren't more of an emergency need and you just want to be close enough to Ballantyne, that's going to be a great location for you. So let's take a look at actual transportation times. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up right here, and we are going to get some directions. I'm going to actually go to the other side here. Here we go. So I'm going to get some directions. We're going to go right into Charlotte. So commute time from the middle of Rock Hill, now that's taking us from Main Street right here, all the way to downtown Charlotte. It depends upon traffic. At the time that this is filmed, it's still sort of rush hour traffic of sorts, but you're going to notice it's about 45 minutes. In most cases, that's what it's going to be. Now, we can go ahead and shift that up. Let's say you live in the Huntersville area, or that's where you work or have friends that live in that area. It's still going to be about 50 minutes. As you notice, it takes you the outer belt line right here. It's that 45 belt. What you're also going to notice is, and actually, let me take that back. I'm going to flip-flop these. Yeah, so very interesting. So if you take a look here, well, I'm just kind of flip-flopping this just to show you. So if you're going from Huntersville down to Rock Hill, this is going to be your main bottleneck right here. When we're talking about traffic and transportation, this right here is going to be your most difficult spot. Reason being, everybody coming from 77, 45 inner, 45 outer, all of it. It's all going to bottleneck right into here to get people to Fort Mill and Rock Hill. And most people are not commuting farther than Rock Hill. They're not going all the way down to Columbia, so that's going to help quite a bit. But this is really where your main backup is going to be. Also, it's because the road is narrowed, so it's only a 2-lane on each side in some cases, and then it spreads out to a 3. So you're going to see that there's a little bit of it kind of narrows out, then it spreads out, and then it narrows again when you get south of Rock Hill. So a little bit of traffic, not the end of the world, but it is a thing. Now, let's also take a look at commute times if you're going to other areas of Charlotte. So as I mentioned earlier, Ballantyne. So if you are commuting into Ballantyne, this is another very popular place for work, medical, etc. You're looking at, let me pull it up. You're looking at about a 31-minute drive. Now that's if you're taking I-77. The cool thing is you've got these other opportunities or options right here. So you can kind of do whatever you want. Now, obviously, this is going to be the most direct. But if you do want to take a back road, if there is challenges or are challenges with roads being closed, there are alternatives, which I always love seeing alternatives. Now, one of the other main areas where people are going to be commuting to is going to be right down here. So I'm going to zoom in. Barclay Downs and South Park. These are two very large areas for industry, medical, business, banking, etc. is going to be in this area and downtown. So let's take a look with regards to South Park. So your commute time from South Park is going to be about 40 minutes. So I think you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down here. If you do live in Rock Hill, your commute time is usually going to be about 40 to 50 minutes if you are trying to get into this inner Charlotte area. Could be better or worse depending upon where you're coming from. If you're coming from New York or LA or Atlanta, this is an absolute breeze. If you're coming from some of the other areas of North Carolina or other states where there are just not as much traffic, this could be kind of terrible. But there's always the option to go to Fort Mill, still get those South Carolina benefits, but be a little bit closer to Charlotte. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of roundabout. Now I'm going to give you one more location to look at when it comes to commute. This is more so if you just want to go have some fun. So as I said, Lake 𝗚ily is right here. But if you want to head to Lake Norman, I'm going to go ahead and put in, actually we'll just drag it. How about that? Let's say you want to go ahead and head up to Lake Norman for the day with friends and family. It's about an hour drive. So now granted, this is at about 6:30 midweek. So these red areas are probably going to go away, and you can always take a different route, which is about the same amount of time. But if you do want to head up to Lake Norman, it is totally doable for a day trip to go hang out. So let me go ahead and close that out there. So thank you so much for joining me on a tour of Rock Hill. Hopefully you have a better understanding of where it is, what kind of commute times you can run into, the absolutely adorable downtown and what you can expect from breweries and shops and restaurants, and a bit more of where the pricing is in these areas and why. So I don't care if you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, whether it's across the country or across town, we would love to help you make your move everything you want it to be. Be sure to text us, call us, email, or even set up a Zoom. All of our information and my information is in the description below. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town.